Hello and welcome to our Evolve Founders Series. My name is Maria Mackel, and Evolve is a community interest company set up as an educational platform to create opportunities for more women to step into both entrepreneurship and leadership. I'm thrilled to see you here for this exciting Founder Series where we are talking to trailblazing women who have started and successfully run their own enterprises. Women-owned businesses are still in the minority, and currently only 1 in 3 entrepreneurs are women. So during this series, we will be examining specific issues that women may face. We will also cover the challenges of being a founder and explore the ups and downs of the day-to-day working lives of the ladies at the helm. So let's delve right in. And today, I'm delighted to be chatting to the award-winning Patricia O'Hagan, CEO of Core Systems. Based in Belfast, Core Systems are global experts in offender self-service solutions for use in prisons and the community. Patricia, who has led the company to success on a global scale, where they work with justice services in the USA, UK, Europe, and Australia. Patricia is also an international speaker on her own right on corrections technology, working with a wide range of prison and correctional agencies from around the world. And also to her name, she has a long list of well-deserved and prestigious awards, including Entrepreneur of the Year awards from Ernst & Young, Every Woman, Women in Business, and the Ulster University. And then in 2013, Patricia was awarded an MBE in the Queen's Royal New Year Honours List for services to the Northern Ireland economy. So what a fascinating background you have, Patricia, and we're really thrilled to have you with us today. So to start off, I'd be delighted if you would just tell us a little bit about your story to date, how you've got into this industry, and who or what has influenced you to follow this path.
Hello, Mariette, and thanks for inviting me along to talk to your members today. And I'm very happy to be discussing my story with you. It's a very unique place or space that I work in, that of like prison technology. I'm an engineer by profession. That's what I studied. Originally, like electrical engineering, and then I went into IT, retrained and went into that. And I would say that the journey's been a long and windy one that's taken me all around the world, which is really exciting. How I found myself working in prisons was probably by chance. The company was started over 20 years ago with my husband and a member, a friend of his that he had met in college. And we took the opportunity to go out on our own and start developing software. And along the way, we got a contract from a friend who wasn't able to service that contract. And that was a contract in a prison. And through that, we got to learn lots of interesting things about how things worked in the prison world. And a few years into that experience, I started thinking about the prisoners themselves and wondering what would life be like if they could actually use technology, because there's like 20 plus services that are involved in looking after a prisoner while they're in custody, like thinking about what they eat, their education, how long they're in prison, their visitors. And I thought, wouldn't it be brilliant if we could just connect them to that information themselves and enable them to seek information and do things for themselves? So that was a transformational part of the journey and took us into the space of what we call offender self-service. And basically what we do is give prisoners like tablets or other pieces of technology and enable them to consume services and do things themselves. Mm-hmm. So the journey, I started doing desk research and started building a prototype of this. Mm-hmm. And I identified America as the biggest market for us for this sort of technology. And I started traveling over back and forth to America to work out who might use this, how it might fit in. And it took me 4 years on the road to educate people and get their thinking into a place where they could accept prisoners using technology. Because as you can imagine, there was a lot of apprehension about it, and security and safety is the primary thing in a prison. So it was a big leap of faith, really, for people to accept this sort of technology. So after 4 years of going back and forth and trying to work out how to break into the market, I tried many things, like directly working with the prisons, and indirectly through partners. Eventually, I came across a partner who was, I'd say, big enough and well-resourced to be able to enter this journey with us, which they did, thankfully. And that was the transition point in the company. And through them, we ended up having hundreds of thousands of prisoners using the system in the United States.
All right. So you collaborated with another organisation that you felt would help you to grow and scale?
Yes.
Very good. And there seems to be a lot of innovation going on there, Patricia, and lots of thinking up new ideas. And I'm sure there've been lots of pinch points along the way in terms of achieving success. So is there any one key thing, do you think, that helped the business to take off?
Well, I think the innovation is a key thing, Mairead, and I'd say the thing that helped us take off was, you'd say, being there at the right time and the right place. So in one way you could say that was fortuitous to be there at that point, but I would say there was a lot of hard work behind that, and a lot of R&D and product development, and really our team getting into the heads of the prisoners and imagining how technology could change their world, and also the minds of the prison officers as well. So that I would say the timing when the market was ready, being there, having something that actually worked and being able to demonstrate it, led to the relationship with the partner that helped us break through.
I suppose people look at businesses and they say, that's an overnight success, but they forget about the actual hard work and long hours of graft that goes on maybe for 20 years before you become the overnight success. So, but Patricia, you're also like a mum and wife, and I suppose there's a lot of joy that comes with that, of course. But would love to know, what does a normal day look for you, and how do you create the right balance within your life?
Yes, well, things are very different at the moment during the pandemic. Prior to that, I would have been traveling a lot, been on the road a lot, interacting with our customers and users, but also within the industry. So we do a lot of thought leadership. So we would be involved, I suppose, and I would be involved personally, going to take part in conferences and doing presentations. And
do you miss all that?
Do you miss that? In ways I miss it. Funny enough, I've been thinking about that, Mairead, and one of the things I'm aware of during the pandemic is I feel like I'm a lot more rested and healthier because I'm not on the road so much, because I think the international travel and traveling through the different time zones does have its toll.
I suppose you realise as well that I'm sure you have realised that you can do so much more from your desk.
Well, that is the great thing, I think, that the pandemic has, done for us, that people recognise that you can actually work from the other side of the world with someone and not have to physically be there. And we've been able to implement projects at the other side of the world. In Australia, for example, we had a really big project go live last year, and we had planned to be out there at several stages, but were unable to travel. So we managed to do that with the help of some people on the ground. So that was really good.
It's amazing to see the changes over the last year, and there's certainly been some challenges, but I think a lot of them are coming out more positive for work-life balance, certainly. And women in business, especially, I suppose some women would say that they have unique challenges to them as women. Have you had any experience of that? I mean, do you feel that you've been disadvantaged or advantaged in any way as being a woman, at the helm of your business?
Well, I think as a business leader, being a woman has been good for me, I think, in my space, because there's not many women doing what I do. And you know, at a conference or whatever, or initial, if I'm trying to get a meeting, I think people are curious about that, and sometimes it opens the door.
Brilliant.
So I think that's been helpful. I think in other circumstances, in some places or forums, I'm not what is expected. So I'm maybe different than other people in the group. So to be there and have like opinions and be confident and assertive is maybe a bit uncomfortable. For some people, it's not what they expect, and you know, I just have to be able to get them on board and address.
Yeah, maybe a bright spark in a long line of dark suits. Yeah, can have its advantages. Yeah.
Yes.
So, tell me about your MBE, Patricia. That must have been a very exciting time for you.
Yes, it was, and it was a complete shock, Maria. You know, no idea, you know, that was coming. So it was a wonderful surprise, and a great honour, obviously, for me and the family. And
well deserved too.
Thank you. And we were really fortunate. I was really fortunate that the Queen, actually, I was able to go to the palace and receive the award from the Queen. I know that not everybody gets that opportunity, but that was a great opportunity for me and my husband and my son to go over and do that. And then a family in London, we were able to meet afterwards and have that lovely lunch, you know. And
so some amazing memories there, Patricia.
Yes.
Ones that you'll keep for a lifetime, I'm sure. Then I just wanted to ask you as well about your own team within Core Systems, and like you're dealing with people every day. And I know I have experienced firsthand from your Core Systems team, because they've helped us with an eye care when we were fundraising last year for the homeless families. And I've seen the culture of your team, which is really amazing, and how they want to help and be involved and give back to their communities. But what do you think that you have done or created as a leader, you know, to build this culture, especially, I suppose, over the last year?
Yes. Well, I think the fact that we're like a family business sets the context of the business, and also the business is based on our values, our personal values, and we hope that all our team would experience that in everything we think and do. And you know, we are about helping people, and like the fundamental nature of our business is to improve people's lives and give them better outcomes.
Yeah, and obviously your staff have bought into that whole and it's brilliant to see that you've actually scaled globally, yet still retain that family business, which is really the backbone of your whole culture.
Yes, and I think collaboration is very much part of what we do. And like, I've been very fortunate in my experience to be able to go around the world, meet people, different backgrounds, doing things in different ways, and then bring that back into Core. And we do have lots of relationships and work regularly with people from different cultures. So hopefully everybody's comfortable and confident. And I think one of our great strengths is that we can collaborate with people and work out how to work with them. And don't see it as a barrier, just see it as maybe a little challenge on the way to having like a new relationship.
Yeah, very good. And then I'm just was wondering as well, Patricia, about over the years, have you had any mentors that you've looked to help you on your way? And what qualities do you have personally as well, do you think, that has got you to this point?
Okay, well, thinking about the mentors, yes, I've been very fortunate. There are some wonderful people that have helped me on my journey that I'm very grateful to. And some of those relationships are still going. And I think it's one, for example, is Kathleen Hagan, who is an advisor and board member to Core. And Kathleen is an American citizen, and she helped me in the early days, you know, kind of work out my strategy to break into the American market. And Kathleen's a very wise woman, but like also I think she's helped me, you know, build my confidence, build my understanding of what was going on in the market and how to articulate and communicate like mine and the company's capability. So Kathleen's a great one.
Specifically to the USA market or markets generally?
That's for the USA market, but that was initially. But I'd say the learnings are common and can be applied in other places. Basically, people need to understand what you're capable of, that you're reliable, that you're committed. And I think I've learned how to establish those things early in a relationship. And that's meant success. Success has followed on from that.
And then the qualities that you think that you have personally, or like what that contribute to your success as well, what do you think they are?
Well, I suppose, like, I would say one of my strengths is being like, I'm very good at like gathering information, analysing it, and applying it. Mm-hmm. So that helps me look into the future and see, what a product needs to be, or how something will work out, or come up with a plan of how to achieve something. So strategy maybe is one of my strengths.
So you're the visionary.
Pardon?
I'm saying you're the visionary within the team.
Yes, I'd say that's part of my role.
Brilliant. And I'm sure there's some days and times you need to like take some time off and chill and relax. So how do you unwind and take time to yourself?
Yeah, well, I think it's very important that you do that and you look after yourself, especially if you're making the big commitment of, growing the company and bringing everybody along. So for me personally, like very basic things, like get enough rest, eat good food, make a point of regularly eating good food. And also, like, I like to do things in nature, get out for a walk, get into the sea. I love to go surfing and swimming. And I would
even on the cold days.
Especially on the cold days.
Gosh, I don't think I'd be joining you in that now, but I've heard a lot of people love it. Very good for your circulation.
Yes, a lot of people have got into it during the lockdown. Actually, it's a really good thing to do. And being in Northern Ireland, obviously, we've access to lots of water.
Nice
on the coast and internally as well.
Coasty waters, yeah. So yeah, I've heard that it's very good for healing properties as well, and different people have told me that they use it for like healing joints and stuff like that. And then you enjoy a vegan diet as well, Patricia, isn't that right?
That's right, Maria. I started a vegan diet. I've been vegetarian like most of my adult life, and then I went onto a vegan diet probably about 2.5 years ago.
That's really interesting, and you've told me before about the great benefits you find from that. So I wanted to ask you as well about, I suppose, in business as well. I'm sure you've been you've had mentors and you've had advice from all sorts of people over the years. So what's the best advice you've ever got and the worst advice? And then in turn, then what would be the advice that you could offer, as people starting a new business, especially maybe women thinking of taking that step into business?
Yeah, God, well, I've heard lots of good advice, things like one from Kathleen was plan for success, which I think is brilliant. Like if you have a vision in your head, this is going to work out. How am I going to make it work out? And if you plan for things to come out well, they often do.
You have the vision first.
You have the vision first, and then you can work towards it. But if you haven't got that clarity, it's difficult to make things happen.
Good point, yeah.
I think advice is important, but knowing when to take it is another thing. So developing your intuition, because often people can give general advice, but like your industry or your niche, you're the expert in that.
Yeah.
So you have to consider how does that translate into my circumstances?
So it's like following your gut instinct, really.
Yes. I think so. Like times things I've taken advice and it didn't work out. And then on reflection, I thought, well, was that really the relevant thing to do in the case of what I was doing? And as it turned out, it didn't. But on those times, I remember feeling my gut telling me, oh, I'm not sure about this.
So you've learned to listen to your gut more than over the years? Yes,
definitely. Like other things I've learned is be self-aware, and that's a very powerful thing. The separation between like being motivated by your ego or like when things go wrong, taking it personally, like those things tend to hold you back. And if you can separate yourself from that sort of thinking, things flow better and you get better outcomes and you get over things more quickly and then you can move forward quicker.
Very good. And then so if you had a lady or in front of you that were thinking of setting their own business, what would you say to them?
I would say go for it. If you feel very strongly and passionately about it, there's nothing better than doing something you love on a day-to-day basis. I would say ask for help when you need it, don't be shy about that. If you can identify someone in your network who knows something about what you're trying to do, ask them.
I think that's really good advice, because I think, again, it's something that maybe women are afraid to do. And most people, like, no matter when you do actually ask for help, I find, and I'm sure you have as well, people want to help you. And I've never, anytime I've ever asked for help, they've never said no. And in turn then, as a business leader yourself, you want to help others as well. So you're always willing, so that's really good advice.
Very much so. Another thing I would say is listening is a very important skill. And sometimes we don't take the time to listen to people. And whether they're your customers or your end users or your colleagues around you or your family, sometimes you enter a conversation and you're just talking and you're not actually listening. And if you stop and listen to people, then you'll hear what the important things are, and that can give you answers to get past issues or problems.
That's superb advice as well. Don't they say we have one mouth and two ears for a reason? Actively listening is something that we all have a challenge with sometimes. So then finally then, Patricia, so just looking forward with core systems now, what do you see? What's your vision for the future? What does the future hold for you, and what does the future hold for core systems?
Right. Well, we're at a very exciting time. We're doing a lot of product, not enhancements. We took the plunge and decided to rebuild our product from the ground up on new architecture. And one of the reasons for that is that I think we're moving into a stage where everyone recognizes the value of data, and we want our customers to be able to benefit from the data that's been captured through the system every day. And I think it will lead to great insights, into how to help people achieve better outcomes, and also give people personal experiences in the justice system. Currently and previously, I think the journey, people didn't have unique journeys. The system treated everybody in the same way because that's all it was geared up to do. But I think through technology and data, we're able to look at people's individual experiences and responses and maybe learn from that, so we can help people better and give them like a personal experience that's good for them.
Fabulous. The saying, the old saying, cash is king, but people say now data is the new queen. You've heard that one. So on that note, Patricia, thank you so much for all your insights. It's been hugely inspiring for me and for everyone listening to your whole story and all your tips and advice and experience. So I just want to say a massive thank you for taking the time to give us all that advice today, and see that you're like a living example of what can be achieved if you really just have that vision and put your mind to it. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Brid.
Yeah, and we'll hopefully after this pandemic, Patricia, we'll get out for a wee glass of wine or something and catch up some more.
That would be lovely.
Yeah, it sure would. I can't wait.
Would it be great?
Definitely, those nights are coming back. So I'd also like to say a huge thanks to our Evolve team and for you for taking the time to be with us today, and look forward to our next Founder Series. So thank you.
My pleasure, and good luck to all your members in their journey.
Thank you so much, Patricia.